Apparently this is not a one-person job, and I can't do it alone. Here is one of those really sketchy spots. Yeah. In case anything happens, I have it on footage.
All right, today is the day this first part of our road should be finished, right?
Yep, should be all done. It looks really good. It's just, especially like with us driving over it and everything over the weekend, it's had a little bit time to settle and compact, which he's going to go through with the compactor, and it really is going to be solid. So today they're just working on filling up any soft spots and putting an extra layer down on pretty much everything else.
It's honestly pretty weird seeing a road here after, like, just knowing what it was initially.
Yeah, just overgrowth.
Yeah, just everything like coming in on the road and between the work that you've done, like just cutting and taking out trees and stuff, and then now with the gravel, it's totally transformed.
It actually looks like a piece of property that someone visits.
Yeah, right? Looks like a good place for the cabin.
Yeah.
Listen. What's that sound?
It's T-Rex.
You think it's T-Rex?
Yeah, it sounds like T-Rex.
I mean, it could be.
What's that, Mama?
You want to walk into the forest towards the potential T-Rex?
Yeah. Oh, be careful, Mama.
You're very brave. They're off to find T-Rex.
All right, so we officially have a road. I mean, we can't be happier. Now we can actually get some things up here. It was kind of sketchy in some areas, especially after a good rain. Wasn't fun. Especially bringing that tractor up. Yeah, traction issues. But anyways, I'm really happy with it.
The next day, Spencer continued cutting the future road through the mountain. He wanted to get as much work done with the front cutter as he could before taking it off, because it's quite the process to take the cutter off with all of the hydraulic lines and everything. So yeah, the plan for today was to get as much cutting done as possible so we could swap the attachments out tomorrow. I got my head in the clouds.
how well this is going to correlate to video, but I just wanted to show it's a little sketchy as of right now. I know this is not going to translate very well, but you can just see how quickly that rises. Water is started to carve a little washout. So not only am I at a steep angle, but then I get into that washout in some areas. Some areas are worse than others, and it's butt puckering.
All right, so today we're getting ready to start working on the other post for that gate. But in order to do that, a lot of things have to happen.
Yeah. Oh, first I had to run and get concrete, go get diesel, now I gotta get water.
Yeah, so in order to get water, he had to take off the cutter and all of that, the front piece and the back piece. So he got that off, put the pallet forks on the front and the box blade on the back, because what do you have where?
Because we ended up going back to an ICB tote, and we have that on the front with the pallet forks. On the rear with the box blade, I have the generator kind of tied down to the box blade. And then in the cab, which I love my tractor, but my only complaint is there's no storage for anything. So I have to stump.
To be fair, you're hauling a lot of stuff around with you.
Yeah, but I mean, most tractors, the cab's a little bit bigger, or they have like a toolbox where you can put tools. I have none of that, so it's my only complaint. But anyways, so I gotta shove the water pump, the hose, and the little bucket all in the cab with me.
Yeah, so it's quite the ordeal to get water. You know that we have caught rainwater here, but it's not really raining right now, which is actually really nice because the weather is beautiful. There's no mud, all of that, but it just makes getting water a little bit of a harder situation. Yeah. So this is what he's figured out is the best thing to do, and that path that he was actually working on cutting yesterday, part of the reason, other than it just needs to be done, was to make his life a little bit easier, because that's what he drives the tractor down with the tote, with the generator, the whole thing should go down to the deepest part of our creek to go pump water out.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll see when you review the GoPro footage, but there's some areas down that mountainside, it's a little butt puckering, so.
Oh my God, don't say that. Honestly, it doesn't do it justice at all. I wish I could be there to actually film you, but like I said, I mean, you gotta go like up the mountain and then kind of down the mountain. It's this whole thing, and if I went to try to film, I would end up carrying 2 children back. So I don't think I'd make it.
Yeah, and we don't have the UTV, so it's...
Yeah, so you're on your own.
Yeah.
So just take his word for it that it is a little sketchy in some spots.
It's pretty sketchy.
Don't say butt puckering.
That's my favorite word, butt puckering.
Isn't that 2 words? You weren't kidding.
Good thing this is a hydrostatic transmission, because if there was a gear shifter, I'd have even less room. Alright, so here's one of those really sketchy spots. I didn't notice I was getting into a washout, and yeah, this section is super steep, and then you add that washout into it, it's not fun. Alright, so I made it out by the little hairs on my chinny chin chin. You can see that washout right there, and this video does not do it justice. It is very steep and at a weird angle, so it just puts the tractor in a very tipsy-turny angle. Plus, I'm on a steep slope, so it's just really, really gnarly.
Hey babe, can you hear me? He might be too far away. Or he might be pumping the water right now. Trying to see if he's on his way back. Daddy's been gone for over an hour. I'm interested to see how long it actually takes him in total. Like I said, it's quite the process, so. I know it depends on how much he's pumping into the tank, but he can't pump that much because it's very difficult to drive back up and over the mountain with the tank, so. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't know if you can really see it, but all the little bugs that are flying around, you'll never guess what those are. Ladybugs. They are trying desperately to get inside the camper.
Alright, so I started making the trek up the mountain, and one thing I've noticed, because I put roughly about 125 gallons into the tote, and that puts me at about 1,000 pounds roughly. So I'm making my way up the mountain, and with that 1,000 pounds so far up front of the tractor, it makes the rear of the tractor really kind of light, and those big tires want to just like bounce around a lot more than they do normally. So figured I would just record myself making the last, I'm about a quarter of the way up so far, and I just, in case anything happens, I have it on footage. I need a better road. This is fine for like when I'm not taking a big load and I just need a shortcut down, but currently it's my only road down, and it's too steep really to be comfortable. I mean, taking the UTV or the dirt bike, all those things, or walking, totally fine, but taking heavy loads up and down with the tractor, and forget an actual vehicle. An actual vehicle, you would probably have to have some sort of nimble four-wheel drive to make it up here. It's so narrow, it's sketchy for a tractor. It's probably sketchy for most things. And Ken keeps paging me, but my battery on my walkie is flashing at me, and she can't ever get a response out of me. Let's try it again. Hey, can you hear me? Maybe. Alright, this is one of the really sketchy areas that's pretty steep, so full attention. This is where I teetered, got into that little washout, so I need to stay to the right as much as possible. Alright, we made it through that little washout area. Now just to make it up this steep section. I don't know the grade on this, but I would probably say it's probably 20, 25 degrees. If I had to guess, I have no idea. Maybe it's slightly more. All these stumps cause the rear of the tractor to pop up. Not sure if the camera's going to pick up the view, but this is an awesome view right here. Alright, so we made it up to the sketchiest part. So the rest of this is pretty much a breeze.
We're right in the line of the smoke. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's following us. Dude!
Dude, it literally just shifted to our spot.
It's been blowing that way for so long. Wherever we go, it'll follow us.
You know what this makes me think of?
What?
Ask me about my wiener.
I don't even know what that's from.
It's from that movie Accepted where he dresses up as a wiener. That's a hot dog.
Never saw that.
Now that we had the water that we needed to mix the concrete, it was time to work on the gate again. To start the day off, Spencer began by fixing the mangled sign. He did this by placing a piece of metal behind the sign and then gently hammering the sign until it was flat against the piece of metal. You'll see once it's finished, this did indeed fix the sign, and you really can't tell anything ever happened.
Alright, moment of truth. I just have the hinges tack weld on there. I'm going to see if my measurements are all correct and this hinge will actually sit within the brackets, or the hinges themselves. If it falls, it falls. Apparently this is not a one-person job. The tolerances are too tight and I can't do it alone.
We ended up running into a lot of issues with the skate build. After the hinges fell off yesterday, he had fully welded them back on and he managed to get the gate on by himself. But then, after testing out the gate and opening and closing it, the gate was actually rubbing against the post. So he had to take the gate off and grind the hinges back off and add a spacer. Oh yeah, and the battery in the welding helmet started dying on him. So then we had to make the trek to the store to get a new battery, you know, so we wouldn't be blinded. But today, I felt very optimistic that we would get the gate on. Well, because he would have our help.
Alright, you want to build more?
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, baby.
Ma, you're doing a great job.
Oh my gosh, you were just saying this thing. Are you still filming?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still filming Sky and Daddy. Good job. Good job. Wait. What? Dada? Pause, Mama.